What if you could build a business that gives you the life of freedom you deserve? What if you could find the secrets to marketing, leadership, customer service, and other aspects of business that help you exceed your goals? What if you could walk away from your business for 30 days and it never misses a beat? That's what this podcast is for, to help business leaders like you find freedom from the day-to-day grind and start spending your time doing the things you love. I'm Levi McClendon, and my co-host is Josh Taylor, and this is the Cheers to Freedom podcast.
Welcome to the next episode of the Cheers to Freedom podcast. I am Josh Taylor, and I'm here with Levi McClendon. Levi, how are you today?
Josh, I'm doing really well, man. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm excited to get into this episode of the podcast because, one, there is nothing that's more fun than talking business, especially practical business ideas, not just marketing, but leadership and customer service and all those things. And we're going to hit on a lot of those today with our topic, but we're going to be talking about loyalty. Tell me something. Loyalty is something that you talk to a lot of our customers about, and obviously have seen it as a big concern in the space with a lot of our customers, because that is something they think about a lot, is how do they get their customers to keep coming back? So the guys that are listening, what are some of the conversations that you have?
Yeah, right now there's a lot of competition, right? So the space is growing faster and bigger than anyone ever has expected it to. And so everyone's worried, like, hey, how do we keep them loyal to our unlimited club? How do we keep them coming back? And we need to be able to send them things. And the traditional loyalty programs are rewarding people for either longevity or how often that they're coming into the wash, or to your establishment, whatever it is that you're doing. And so that's awesome. With OpSpot, that's what we do, right? We are going to put loyalty programs in place and send the text, and based off of how often, frequency, things like that, which are amazing. But Josh, there's one thing when we talk about loyalty that kind of, you and I were rapping the other day on the phone, and we were just kind of like, there's a whole nother kind of level of loyalty that I feel that these washes and business owners can give to people that has nothing to do with messaging, has nothing to do with an email, has nothing to do with a gift or the surprise and delight. Here's your microfiber towel or whatever it is, because you've been a member now for the 30 days. And when we talk about loyalty, aside from that, it's how you make people feel. And as we start talking about, if we feel heard, wanted, if we feel important, if we just feel like somebody knows our stinking name because we've been to your wash 10 times. If I come to your wash 10 times and you never call me by name, and you don't learn my name, and you don't say, how are you today? Guess what? You're not building any loyalty at all. And as a matter of fact, Josh, and sorry to go off on this, but hang with me 1 second. I was a member, I now live in Florida, but I was in Arizona. I was a member of a car wash, their Unlimited Wash Club. And this is before I even got doing all the marketing in the car wash space. And I was a member there. Not one time did anybody, and I would go there all the time, talk to me, ask me how I was doing, ask if they could do something else to help me while I was there, vacuuming my car or anything. And I remembered that if there was another wash closer to me, that wash was doing nothing keeping me loyal, right? It didn't feel like my wash. It didn't feel like, hey, this is a part of me. And I wasn't talking to anybody about that wash because honestly, I didn't really feel like they cared about me. So as you and I start talking about, we start bringing up some different stories that I want you to share a couple of those. And that whole, like, people want to be, they want to feel good, right? They want to be heard. And I think those are the little things that we can start doing immediately in the car wash space, even in any business, to create true, and that's true loyalty, right? That's like legit loyalty.
Yeah. And I have a similar experience with the wash that I'm a member of here in town. And I bought this, I bought my wife a new car last year. And so I went and bought an unlimited wash. It was the first time I was ever an unlimited member of a car wash. And I was proud of the car. I wanted to keep it clean. I still go there probably at least once a week. And I'm always there at the same time. I drop my son off at school in the mornings, and then I go there. And I'm usually one of the first ones there right when they open. Sometimes they still even got the gate closed when I get there a few minutes early. And I'm pretty consistent. And usually the site manager is there with one of the other employees. And And so we recognize each other, and I know we recognize each other. I know he recognizes me because he kind of gives me that nod, that bro nod where we know each other, but
Like,
we're not
what's
really
up?
going to say anything. Yeah, that thing. And he's walking around and he's checking the vacuums and he's kind of doing the whole opening process. And he's probably walked when I'm there vacuuming my car. He's probably walked by me 3 or 4 times before I ever leave, but not once has he ever just stopped. And I'm not looking for him to sell me anything. I'm not even looking for him to give me anything, but just to have a conversation with me. If I were him in that position, what I would go to me or a customer like me, I would say, look, I noticed that you're here often and you're here usually at least once a week. We see you pretty regularly. I would love to know, what do you love about our car wash? And what do you feel like we could improve? That would go a long way for me. Not only did you make me just feel like my input matters to you, but now you're going to get information that can help you improve your car wash. But here's something that you and I both hear from our customers that we talk to is they want to be the Chick-fil-A of car washes.
Right.
What do you think
Right.
they're really trying to say when they say they want to be the Chick-fil-A of car washes?
Well, they want to say that we're a leader in the industry, right? We're a leader where people come, we have double drive-through lanes. People are happy to work there. People are smiling, and people are talking about my car wash. And I've heard that so many times, Josh, that people want to be the Chick-fil-A of car washing. And I would say the difference, if I go to a Chick-fil-A, and you and I have had this conversation, versus a Burger King or something, people at Chick-fil-A, they want to be there and they want to serve you. And it's my pleasure, whether they mean it or not. I don't really care. But when I go to Chick-fil-A, guess what? It's their pleasure to serve me, and it makes me feel good.
Right.
And I don't feel like they're trying to just, get me out of there and I hate my job. You go to a place and I hate, I'm just saying Burger King, for whatever, because nobody looks at Burger King and goes, oh my gosh, I want to work there, right? I want to go there all the time, because those people typically are just like, no smile, don't really care. They don't really want to be at work. And it kind of like what you're talking about, that guy at the wash, if he's acting like he doesn't really care to be there, and you're kind of inconveniencing him to even be there in the first place, you're not ever going to be the Chick-fil-A of car washing. And so I think instead of even selling, you brought up the point even about selling, right? Like that's, everyone's trying to sell and upsell these passes. Stop selling and start smiling. I just came up with that. Stop smelling.
We'll trademark
stop
that.
Smelling. Stop selling. Trademark that, and start smiling. That to me, that smile, and that's my goal for personally for 2022. We talked about this. See, I'm seeing myself right now. I got to smile more. I never smile. And so it's like, okay, I need to see myself smile, because I think it's more inviting and you act like you actually care and you like it there. So as a car wash owner or a business owner, I would say one of the things that you could even do right now is start smiling more with your people and actually train them to smile and act like they're happy being there. And they probably are, which is awesome. But to me, that is going to sell, because people like it there and they're going to want to come back. Number one, to just obviously you're going to have to put out a clean car. That's number one. But number two, got to feel good. And if I'm feeling good about your place, I'm going to drive by 2 other car washes to come to your car wash.
Well, what makes Chick-fil-A stand out is not their chicken sandwich. I don't think they make the best chicken sandwich. And some of you may hate me for saying that.
Their Chick-fil-A sauce, though, is
their Chick-fil-A sauce is good.
Amazing.
But they don't make the best chicken sandwich. In fact, they solve the same problem that their other competitors solve. Food. I'm hungry. I need lunch. Yeah. Correct. So they solve the same problem that Burger King solves. It's not even, really healthier than most of these other places. But where they go is they take it a step deeper and they go to that internal problem and they make me feel great when I'm there. And that's how, your car wash, if you're a car wash owner, you solve the same problem that the car wash down the road does.
Solves. Absolutely.
And so you guys are doing the same thing. Where your customer sees you differently is how they feel when they're on your lot. How does your car wash, how do your employees, how do your site managers make them feel while they're there? And, you posted something on social media a couple of days ago that said, when your customers come to your wash, of all the places, of all the businesses that they do business with today, will your business, not just of all the car washes they go to, because they're
Right.
probably only
All
going to go to one,
businesses.
of all the businesses that your customers go to today, will your car wash be the one that stands out as the best experience they had? That's that, because your competitors are not other car washes. Your competitors are every business that
Right.
they engage with today. And it's a mindset that's got to be there.
Well, and some of the listeners out there, and I've heard from some of them too, that when you have the unlimited wash pass, a lot of people leave their window up, they go through the express, through the tunnel. And if they leave, there's not a lot you can do other than, of course, when you're smiling, load them or whatever. But a lot of you guys have vacuum stations, right? You got tons of vacuums, and people are over at the vacuums after they come through the tunnel and they're vacuuming their own car. And some of you have full service, you are able to engage. So I'm going to say that opportunity right there, the opportunity to make somebody's day and make that experience that customer had, like Josh, like what you were what you were talking about, like for that particular day. I don't care where you're going. If you are going to Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or to the grocery store or whatever, make that stop that you just had be the best experience that person has had, right? Make a difference in them. And so I think you could really do it, you guys, over at the vacuum station. So I would really put time into whoever I was hiring that's walking around that lot. Number one, make sure the vacuums suck. And I don't mean suck, but suck really well, right? Like they need to be able to have good pressure. Because Josh, you were talking about the other day, you're like, there's
the one thing that frustrates me the
frustrating
most is playing musical chairs with the vacuum cleaners.
musical vacuum hoses. So obviously you hire attendants to do that, right? To go make sure, maybe pick up trash, make sure the trash is empty and walking around. But man, what if you had them take that extra step of engaging, just like what Josh said? Hey, we notice you're here a lot. What are the things you really like? What are some things that we can improve on? Things like that. And then take it even to the next level, Josh. And I'm going to give a couple little tidbits here of some things I've been thinking about. But what if you took it to a level of, I have an air pressure gauge in my hand and I walk up to you and, hey, how you doing today? Do you mind if I check the air in your tires? I care, right? We're caring. That's a safety thing. That's
especially this time of year when people don't even realize their pressure is getting lower because of the cold air.
Because of the cold air. That doesn't, I mean, that's not rocket science, right? But imagine that happening to you right now, right? Those are the things that it's like, okay, didn't expect that, but that's my car wash. And I'm actually going to talk about that car wash from the little things, or we even talk about taking the wiper fluid, right? How much is wiper fluid? It's a diluted mix. Who cares? So you take some wiper fluid around at the same time going, hey, especially right now, right? The weather, like you said, it's either raining or snowing in places, different things. You want to make sure to have a clean windshield. Super easy to do. Hey, do you mind if we check your wiper fluid? We just want to make sure that you're safe on the road and that you have this. What? Like, that's my car wash. But that gives you opportunity to engage, not walking up to somebody saying, hey, are you part of our unlimited club?
Right.
No,
that's what we do. And that's what
care
our
about
process can do. So we can take, and that's what we do for our customers. We take that pressure of selling off of the employees so that the employees can focus on giving a great experience. And honestly, it goes back to this mindset, with businesses, they think of their payroll as an expense. Well, if you think of your employees as part of your marketing program, then your payroll is no longer an expense. It's an investment, because now your payroll is making you money. And if your payroll, if your employees should see their job as making the car wash more money. If they're not making more money, they're a bad investment. And so they've got to have that mindset. You've got to have that mindset as the leader, as the owner. But I'll say this, even Levi, even if they don't have the opportunity to engage personally with the customer because their windows are rolled up, they don't get out to vacuum, just having your employee who's bringing them into the tunnel. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into my wash where the employee makes me feel like I'm his worst enemy because I'm there at the car wash and he hates that I have to come through that tunnel. He's not smiling. He's kind of there. His clothes are like really dirty. They're untucked, just the presence.
And then they're upset or mad because you didn't put it in neutral and
or I didn't line up with the tire thing that I can't see really well. So it's all about the body language, and that comes to, obviously a mindset in teaching and training. I want one of the stories that you wanted me to share was one that I had with a restaurant, and this is a positive story that I think that goes back to your employees and what your employees can do. But when my son was young, like 1-2 years old, he was still sitting in high chairs and stuff, and my wife was working, and she would often work at night with some of her clients and as a marriage and family counselor. And so while she was out doing her counseling, I would take my son to dinner at different places a lot of times because I just didn't cook at home very often. And there was one place that we would go, and I'm not going to name the restaurant, and you'll see why, but there was one place that we would go. I was going to Best Buy one night, and there's this restaurant has a location. It's not a full service restaurant, by Best Buy. And so I decided to take my son there. I put him in a high chair. We order our food. It's one of those places where you order up at the counter and then they bring the food to you because you have a number. Well, one of the guys that was just walking around, he wasn't even the guy that brought me my food. He was just walking around bussing tables and stuff. And he came up to me and he said, and this is exactly what he said. His name was Skylar. And this is exactly what he said. He said, "Sir, I can see that you're having dinner with your young son tonight. And so instead of you having to get up and walk away from your table to get something, just wave me down. I don't want you to have to get up. Just wave me down if you need a napkin or a straw or a refill on your drink. Just let me know." Now, that wasn't his job. And the reason why I know that wasn't his job was because every time because Skylar was there, I would go out of my way, even though this restaurant had a location that was 5 minutes from my house. I would go out of my way, almost 20 minutes, to go to this specific location. That's because awesome. Skylar was there, and he would say the exact same thing to me every single time. But the reason I knew it wasn't his job to do that was because when Skylar left, no one else ever said that to me.
No one did it.
And so I stopped going to that location.
I was say, did you start going to the one 5 minutes?
I started going to the one that was closer to me because there was no reason for me. Now, I go to that location because I still love the food, but that shows loyalty. Like if that was a different restaurant, like I was going out of my way to get to that
absolutely.
One simply really because loyalty. Of that experience.
They created that loyalty by just the way they made you feel, and they met a need, right?
Yep.
I think about that we talk about Chick-fil-A for a second. I have kids, lots of kids, 10 to be exact, 8 still at home, right? That's why I'm out on the back porch.
That's why you're out doing this on the porch.
I've experienced a lot of places that do well with kids and don't do well with kids, right? Chick-fil-A, I go into a Chick-fil-A, number one, obviously they have the play thing and they can go in there. That's awesome. I'll go sit down and take my laptop. My kids go play and it's amazing. But they always give a little toy too, kind of like McDonald's and some of these other ones that give this little toy. I was just thinking, Josh, a lot of women with children and men with children go to the car wash because it's fun too, right? You go through the car wash and it's all fun and bright lights and whatever. But imagine now I'm at the vacuums and you got your kids in there. What if part of that attendant's job was not only to engage, but having little toy packages, coloring book, colors, something for the kid that would go well in the car. You don't want to give them things that melt, but something just like a Chick-fil-A, a boy or girl, a little prize or something. How awesome would that be? You'd be like, hey, and now while they're vacuuming, the kid is now, oh, this is new, this is different. And you have now met the need of that person. And all of a sudden, again, it's like, this is my car wash. I am driving by these car washes because they don't do this and they're not meeting this need. So it's all about caring, meeting the need. And to me, that really drives true loyalty.
Well, Mark Schaefer is a marketer, and he tells this story because he talks about the emotional experience of loyalty and being loyal to a brand. One of the things that he talks about is on the best brands that have the best loyalty only still have about 13% of their customers that are actually loyal to them. So think about that with your own business. Like on a good day, only 13% of your customers are loyal to you. So you've got to work to do it. And the loyalty programs are not enough. They help, they work, but they've got to work in tandem with other things that you're doing. And he talks about hotels specifically because he travels a lot. And he says, I don't care what hotel I stay in. Now, I know a lot of people that get rewards and points and stuff, so they are picky about what brand of hotel. Well, he doesn't care what brand of hotel. And honestly, I don't either. They're all kind of the same to me, especially now that more and more of them are becoming more corporate. So he doesn't care if it's a Hilton or a Marriott or a Hyatt, except for one. And when he goes and teaches at a university in New Jersey, there is a Hyatt that he always stays at. And the reason why it's there is because the manager remembers his name. She remembers details about him. welcomes him by name when he comes in. And he tells one story of one time he came in, he had a really bad travel day, bunch of delayed flights, a bad rental experience, gets to the hotel. It was obvious on his face that he was just having a really bad day. It was raining outside. And so she asked him, is everything okay? And he kind of explained to her his day. Well, he goes and puts his stuff down in his room. He walks out for a little bit and he comes back, and there is a basket, a cheese and wine basket in his room from the hotel manager with a note that says, "I hope your day gets better." And from then on, he's like, "I'm done. Like, this is the only place I'm ever going to stay."
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It comes to getting to know our customers. It comes to, like you said, meeting those pain points, figuring out what those pain points are, and how can we. The other day I had an air conditioner technician come and check our air conditioner. When he came over, he brought a coloring book and a pack of crayons for my 6-year-old.
Yeah, awesome.
Guess which air conditioner company stands out, and guess who I'm calling again when I need to get my air conditioner replaced?
And guess who you're talking about right now?
Exactly.
They're the people who set themselves apart, and we know there's a lot of businesses out there right now listening to this. I guarantee you there are things that you can do to set yourself apart from the competition and build a customer for life. Have customers actually talk about you. I never thought I'd be talking about a car wash that made a difference, but I promise you, car washes are making differences literally in people's lives. It's pretty nuts.
And those are the things that make people go online and write positive reviews. People usually don't go online to write positive reviews. They usually only do it when they have a negative experience. But if you give them an experience that stands out from anywhere else that they've been, they're going to go online and they're going to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what I did with the air conditioner
company. And that's
company.
for another episode we'll talk about on reviews, because that is another really good topic of not just negative, but positive, and how to get more. So we'll roll into that on another podcast down in the future, which I'm really excited about, because that's going to be a good one.
Well, so Levi, we could talk about loyalty all day. You and I even our phone conversation went on forever the other day talking about this stuff. But to wrap this up, what is one practical thing that our listeners could do today, whether they own a car wash or a restaurant or any other kind of business? What is one thing that they can do today that will make a difference heading into the new year?
So I would start hiring and training on, and I know I said this earlier, it just came out, but honestly, on smiling and not selling. Okay. Simple. If you start smiling more, talking more, engaging more, and not worried about, selling or upselling, I really feel like that's going to make a difference. So when you're hiring people, when you're training people, this doesn't cost you anything extra today. You don't need a system in place. You don't even need OpSpot for this. All you need to do is have a different mindset and put a process in place and make sure that you're training and educating your employees on how they need to be interacting and engaging. And I think if that could be a shift for you today, that your loyalty will 100%, it'll go up. Maybe not 100%, but your loyalty will go up. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's such great advice. Invest in people that smile, invest in people that know how to be relational, and teach people how to have conversations. Don't make it feel scripted, but just teach people, empower your employees to have conversations with your customers and make them feel super welcome. I think that's such great advice.
And we gave a few nuggets that I haven't even shared with other people. I like these things that we get, just even the tire pressure stuff, the fluid, the wiper fluid, and even the little toy or something, just like what your AC guy did. You guys think of things that in your unique area, right? There's got to be something that you're going to be able to meet the need of somebody. And if that becomes your practice, your policy, your procedure, like this is what you do, this is who you are, it's going to make a difference. So
absolutely. Well, Levi, I think this is great. I think this is really practical for our listeners. What I would love, if you're listening to this, one, subscribe and like wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on YouTube or your favorite podcast.
Unless you don't like it, then
you hated it, then don't do anything. But we would love for you to subscribe and then share this with some other people that you think might find it helpful. But wherever you're listening to this, even on Facebook, if you're linked to this on Facebook, leave us a comment and let us know what are some things that you're doing to implement this idea of loyalty in the experience. We would love to share ideas, get some ideas from you guys, and just let us know, what are you doing to give your customers an experience that stands out from any other business that they're going to experience today?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And also let us know some things you would like to hear on this podcast as we continue to roll these out. We'd love to cover the topics that are going to make a difference in your business.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you guys next time.
Episode 2 is in the books. Until next time,
cheers.
Cheers.